In this video, we're heading up to the vast interior of Alaska to hunt caribou and moose. One of the most enjoyable parts of an Alaska hunting adventure is the process of getting to your main hunting area, as you'll no doubt see lots of breathtaking, spectacular scenery along the way, as my good friend Clint and I did on this trip. After driving for several hours north into the interior region of the state, we packed up the boat with all of our hunting and camping gear and then began the journey across a big lake and into a river system, deep into caribou and moose country. After a long journey on the water, we finally settled on an area to set up camp, which would become home for the next week or so. The next order of business was to start scouting for moose and caribou, which we did both from the river and on foot. We examined the surrounding area thoroughly, looking for actively used caribou trails, tracks, scat, and any other telltale sign that would indicate that there had been some animals in the area recently. After spending many hours doing so, we finally found an area in which it was obvious that caribou were regularly moving through, and there were some moose around as well. And so, we focused the rest of our hunt on that particular main area. We spent every waking moment of the next several days, sun up to sundown, on the lookout for migrating caribou as well as trying to call in moose, all with very little results. When the monotony of endless scouting for animals got to be too much, we'd take a break and do a little fly fishing for grayling while also scouting out other areas along the river. The majority of the week went by with only a few animal sightings, and those were small cow caribou and a cow moose that came through in the early morning twilight. Toward the end of the week, I finally spotted a bull caribou across the river. We grabbed our gear and rushed across to the other side to make a stalk on him, but alas, he vanished quickly in the thick spruce trees and the tundra thickets. And wouldn't you know it, the next day it happened again. We spotted a bull moving along the trail who headed up into the woods and again disappeared quickly. Shortly after he disappeared though, a couple of cow caribou came along the same trail, and lo and behold, that bull came out of the woods and right back down the trail into the open to check them out. We had to act fast, so Clint got into position and made a good shot on the bull. He dropped him right on the edge of the river, which made for an easy recovery and an easy job of packing out the meat. As you can see, the bull didn't have a huge rack, but his overall body size was enormous, which indicated that he was a mature, old bull, and a good one to harvest, as he would provide lots of meat. Thankfully, the weather was getting cold by that point, which made the task of taking care of meat ideal. On the second to last day of the hunt, a big wind and rainstorm was predicted to blow in, so we figured it was a good time to get back home. Thus, we broke down camp, loaded everything up, and headed down the river toward the lake. Upon getting out into the lake, though, the wind had kicked up so fiercely that there was simply no way to safely cross it. Whitecap waves were crashing into the boat and soaking us and all of our gear. We were stuck in a pickle with not many options for safe, immediate shelter. We noticed a cabin nearby and headed there to get out of the storm for the night. While the cabin was abandoned and seemed to be sitting dormant for quite some time, it turned out that it belonged to an acquaintance of Clint's, who we found out later had passed away in the not-so-distant past. Clint recalled that many years ago this gentleman invited him to spend some time at the cabin. So, as fate would have it, we took him up on that offer, although when least expected. It was one of those crazy coincidences that happened just at the right time. But staying in that cabin also could have very well saved our lives, as we were both sopping wet and soaked to the bone, and hypothermia can kick in and kill you fast in Alaska. When the weather cleared and we dried out, we once again loaded up all of our gear, as well as the meat that we stored in a shed to stay dry, and we headed across the lake to begin the rest of our journey home. And upon our arrival, we celebrated the adventure and the harvest with a caribou feast. Well, my friends, I hope you've enjoyed this adventure, and if you've never been to Alaska, then I sincerely hope you get the chance to visit someday. And if you need some help in planning an Alaska hunting or fishing adventure, I've got lots of videos here at the 3 Minutes Outdoors YouTube channel that will assist you in doing so, and I'll be making lots more in the future, so be sure to subscribe to this channel and check them out.